I've told you over and over that the politicians are no different than you. They have the same issues, spiritual issues. They're angry. They are living in their imagination, in thoughts, and all thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. But the politicians are living in the darkness of their imagination. Their hearts are wicked. And they too are trying to get money and perceived power. They're warring against one another because in their mind, they think that's the answer. They cannot see. They cannot see. And they call good evil and evil good. They're no different than the Christians. They are no different than you or anyone else. They're just people in a position that they call politicians. It's like the entertainers, the cotton field worker. It's all the same. No different. They're no different. It's the same spirit. All who were born of the woman must be born of the Father. All who were born through the woman are born into evil. And there's not one person on earth that's different than the other. So when you're looking at the president on down or on up, however you see them, they're no different than you. Zero. They're dealing with the same spirit. Title don't change the spirit. Title just cover up the spirit if you're into titles. There's this guy, John Fetterman. They're calling his spiritual illness clinical depression. Amazing, huh? They're covering up the devil. And they give the devil titles. Oh, you're depressed? Or you have anxiety? Or you're worried? Or you're this, when it's really you're possessed by evil. And everyone who has anger is possessed by evil. And when Christ walked the earth, he went around rebuking the devil from the people, from their imagination. Emotions are evil. Emotion, this feel good thing and feel bad thing and the feel good thing and the feel bad is evil. Emotions are evil, yet you worship emotions. And there are men and women telling you emotions are good, especially women, because women, God is Satan is the woman's God, and Satan is all about emotions and thoughts, imagination. And women live there until they overcome, right? And so they're pushing this emotional crap. They're pushing evil. It's doing you no good to overreact to anything at any time, whether it's so-called good or bad. You must be born of the Father. You got to forgive your mothers and all your grandmothers, whatever woman raised you, and return to your earthly father. If you don't love your earthly father, you're never going to love God. Hang it up, goodbye, whatever. If you don't love your earthly father, you will never love God. It's not going to work. You can go to church, you can read the Bible, you can hoop and holler, you can get affirmative action, reparation, and you still are of your father, the devil. So they're calling John Fetterman issue clinical depression instead of spiritual illness. This is from Reuters. So-called Senator John Fetterman, they don't say so-called, I do, of Pennsylvania, checked himself in Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Maryland Wednesday to receive treatment for clinical depression. Watch this.
U.S. Democratic Senator John Fetterman checked himself into a hospital on Thursday seeking treatment for severe clinical depression. That's according to a statement by his office that said the 53-year-old Pennsylvania lawmaker who flipped a Republican-held seat in last November's elections just 6 months after suffering a stroke was at Walter Reed Medical Center after the attending physician for Congress evaluated him earlier this week and recommended inpatient care. Fetterman's chief of staff wrote, quote, "While John has experienced depression off and on throughout his life, it only became severe in recent weeks." Adding, quote, "After examining John, the doctors at Walter Reed told us that John is getting the care he needs and will soon be back to himself."
And Doctor, that phrasing, "he will be back to himself," it's a colloquial phrase, of course, but when one is living with depression, that is who you are.
Well, it's a complex interplay because it's so personal. How we think, how we feel, how we act is so much a part of who we are. But we do know that depression is quite common. The CDC estimated that as many as 8% of Americans suffered from depression in 2020.
See how dumb that lady is? She's dumb as a doorknob. They call her doctor. Why don't they don't have male doctors anymore? Everything is female, and the country going to hell in a handbasket. Well, everybody saying nothing. Talking loud, saying nothing. They're calling evil depression. How would that help the person to overcome? Overcome anger, you can overcome the junk. And it's only going to get worse because anger is being pushed as good now. God said, don't trust an angry person. If you have anger, you are a murderer. Anger is of your father, the devil. And what do? You wish him anger. Anger is hatred. And that's why I tell black people that you are angry and you can't see. There's no such thing as racism and all the ism, slaveryism, and Jim Crow-ism. No ism. You are angry. You hate your mothers. You hate your grandmothers. You're yearning for the Father. Forgive and you can go free. The white man not holding you back. The white man is not superior to you. And I know that most black people think that white people are superior because white people are more innovative. They get things done and make things better, not worse. And so the blacks are incapable of doing that now. And so rather than learning why, discovering why can't I do it, they say, oh, the white man is superior to me, so they try to stop the white man. In their own country. And it's going to get worse because you're possessed with evil. It's a possession of the spirit of darkness. And it is a growing issue with young folks and older people of all color, all races around the world. I counsel with men and women, families and individuals around the world. It's the same story. Nothing is different about it except some of the situations are a little different. You got to take hold of your own life, folks. You got to break away from the crowd, from the okie doke, because it's getting worse. According to Breitbart, CDC, 57% of teen girls feel sad. 57%. According to the CDC, Breitbart is reporting to the CDC, 57% of teen girls feel sad. Hopeless, 24%. So all the attention on the women is not making them better. It's making them worse. All the attention is not working. What the? Because it's the wrong attention. You're stroking the woman's ego. You're not having her overcome the devil in her imagination, in her emotions. They're getting worse. They're not getting better. Breitbart is reporting from the CDC, 57% of teen girls feel sad, hopeless. 24% made plans for suicide. Made plans for suicide, depression. So let's see here. CDC, 57% of teen girls feel sad. I guess that's and hopeless. but it just says hopeless. 24% made plans for suicide, depression, and thoughts of suicide has dramatically increased among teen girls, following a 10-year trend according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Isn't that something? These girls want to commit suicide. There's never, ever, ever a reason to commit suicide. Committing suicide is one of the dumbest things you can do to yourself. Anytime you get thoughts of committing suicide and you listen to them, you're worshiping the devil. That's not you telling you your life is not worth anything. You might as well die. You're not as good as. You might as well kill yourself. That's the devil telling you that. In your imagination. That's evil because your hearts are evil. Your hearts are evil. You must be born of the Father. There will come a day when I will return the children to the fathers and the fathers to the children, according to God. And unless you return to your father, let me type a note here. I'm typing a note to the staff. Unless you return to the Father, you can hang it up. You can hang it up. No medication, no nothing can solve spiritual issues. But the light of God. The light of God can only do it. You got to admit you're angry and know that it's wrong and forgive. And so girls that are considering suicide when the rainbow wasn't enough, you need to forgive your mama for turning you away from your fathers. You need to forgive your mamas for turning you away from your fathers. Just as the guys have to do if they want to be free.